We're down here in the paddock with Corey Callahan. Corey, thanks so much for taking the time out of your busy night to do an interview with us.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
So first question, talk to us about how you got involved with this sport, because I understand it wasn't love at first sight for you.
No, I grew up on a horse farm. My parents have done this their whole life. And, when I was little, I was like Stahlbaum's kids, like running around, in the paddock and everything. And, I grew up playing sports, and I didn't really have time for the horses, you know what I mean? Like, I always had something going on, or, my mom or dad was running me somewhere, and I looked at the horses more as work, I had chores I had to do. I had to sweep the barn, and, I had to feed the horses when they went to the races and the babysitter came, and it just wasn't for me. I worked there during college and, just in the summer because it was good money, so I did that. And
What did you go to school for? What path were you on?
marketing. And now I market myself, so I'm using my degree. Most people go to college and don't use their degree, but I'm using mine.
That's pretty incredible. So did you graduate and then come back to the sport? Did you graduate and get a different job and then come? What was that process like?
Right. Yeah, I graduated, and while I was in college, I kind of got more into racing again. And as soon as I got out of college, I worked a desk job as a recruiter for a company called Spherion, and bought my first racehorse with my dad. So our deal was he wouldn't charge me a bill, but I had to go and paddock him every time he was in. So, I did that, and next thing you know, I was warming up a couple. Like, he was sick one night, and he said, "You know what? I don't feel like going." He said, "Put on my colors." And I looked at him, I was like, "Are you serious? Like, you want me to go out there? You trust me to do that?" And, I was like 25 years old then now, and now I'm 33, and man, how life has changed in 8 years.
Get over this. So he saw something in you, obviously. So you've been seriously driving for the last 5 years or so. Can you talk about, that success? You kind of started out a little bit later in life as opposed to some of the drivers that are here now.
Yeah, I almost think that it works to my advantage, because when I did start, I was more mature. I was able to set goals and be like, this is what I want to do. And I really think it helped me. And, trainers, they want to use somebody that, they can talk to and, have a professional relationship with. And a lot of, people when they start out young, they're just not professional about it. They're just yahoos. And, not to take anything away from anybody, because, look at Matt Kelly. He's a superstar, and, he's a young guy. But he's, he's, I guess, experienced beyond his years. So.
And that's the thing. Now you're one of the top drivers on the East Coast, so you got to be doing something right out there.
I think so.
So tell us, last season you were kind of all over the place, racing at a bunch of different tracks. What is your schedule like this year? Where have you been?
Yeah, the stakes season is just getting started. This is kind of my first stop. I have to go to the Meadows next week for like movie idols and the just Pennsylvania Sire Stakes. So, he's really the main, big horse that I have for this year. Hopefully I pick up some more along the way. This filly that's in tonight, she's, she impressed me last year as a 2-year-old. She won 54, I'm 28, really easy. So, hopefully she's matured a little bit this year and has a good year.
You working with a lot of the same trainers? What is that relationship like that's attributed to your success so far this season?
Yeah, you kind of make relationships, with which, like I said, I'm using my degree. You basically what you have to do is you have to get accounts, and you have to, basically just, take care of your accounts. There's a lot of, it's kind of like you got to take your clients out to dinner, it's not as much of that, but, you still have to, there's a lot into it other than just going out there and, winning races. So, I've had luck with a lot of people. George Teague, we did very well. And now Montrell, he's kind of moved into that spotlight, won a big race here. So, we're happy for him. And I had to move on and find somebody else. So
it's part of the process. Now you're marketing yourself. So it is clever how you kind of use that degree in other areas of your life. I can imagine you're a busy man. Where are you living now and doing a lot of traveling? What's your routine like?
Yeah, I live in Maryland, so it's about a 3.5 hour drive here. I'm not really close to anything. I mean, I when I bought that house, I was just kind of working for my dad, not really doing a whole lot of driving. Most of the driving I was doing was at Rosecroft. So, I mean, that wasn't a bad ride for me. You know, when I was getting started, I wanted to go somewhere where, you know, I could get a lot of drives and practice. So, with the way the market's been, I haven't been able to get my house sold. So, I'm just kind of stuck there and driving around.
So you and your wife have a young family now, so you guys are probably all over the place.
Yeah, they're troopers. They ride with me, so it's nice that, you know, I don't have to miss out on her growing up because they'll follow me around.
You have good company then. That's good to know.
Yeah.
What about your most memorable when you've had a lot of big ones? What's one that really stands out in your mind?
I'd say to date, probably my most memorable is the Hoosier Cup with Mr. Wiggles. He was my first big horse. You know, I mean, he came here, he won an elimination of the hemp. He was fourth in the final. We drew bad. We were outside, and, you know, he raced good. And, you know, I mean, we had a big year, and that was what a thrill. I mean, a $500,000 race for, you know, somebody who had just been driving, you know, for like 4 years. And, you know, I think there was probably, you know, some jealousy from some other people that were like, you know, this kid just started, now he goes out there and wins, you know, the Hoosier Cup. So it was a lot of fun.
A very memorable win for you that I can imagine, and a standout
Hopefully
from the
not
beginning.
the most memorable.
A long career ahead of you. But right now, we're not going to talk about your career. We're putting you in the lightning round.
All
So
right,
some
let's do this.
split-second decision making. You are ready for this. All right. What's your first job?
Mucking stalls.
All right.
Easy one for a driver, you know what I mean?
They progressively get more difficult, these
Okay,
questions. Okay. Superpower, if you can have one, what would it be?
Go back in time.
Go back in time, a time traveler.
Yeah,
like
like-
get a DeLorean and go back in time, or?
Yeah, like in a DeLorean, you know, and like go back and drive Dan Patch or something like that. You know, like
So that's where
like
you
a
would go.
really great horse.
Very, very cool. If you won the lottery, what's the first thing that you would do?
Buy a big horse farm on the water.
That sounds really beautiful.
I found one today for 7.9 million, so that's where I'm going.
So go out and get yourself some tickets.
Yeah, I
some
can't
power-
afford it now.
What about your favorite holiday and why?
My favorite holiday would probably be Thanksgiving. You know, because it's, well, when you're in college, you know, that's kind of the first holiday you come back and you see all your friends, and it's just always been a fun holiday.
It's the good food without the stress of the presents and all that stuff.
Exactly.
Let's see. What would you be doing if not this, if you weren't driving?
I'd like to be a professional hockey player, but that ship sailed a long time ago.
You never know. You really never know.
Yeah, it's not happening. I'm
And-
considered a veteran now. 33 years old as a veteran.
It is a tough sport to kind of break into now.
Yeah, I'm out.
It's
Beer
a dream,
league for
though.
me.
It's a dream. And if you had an extra half an hour in your day to spend however you would like, what would you do with it?
I'd have to spend it with my daughter. You know, I mean, she's basically the reason that I go to work every day and the reason I get up. So that's what I would do.
Very sweet answer. Great guy. Thank you so much for taking the time. We wish you lots of luck throughout the season, and hopefully we'll be seeing you here a lot more, too.
All right, thank you guys.